ladies and gentlemen, this is LuFisto for the Wrestling Soup and Friendos. We are the Wrestling Sprout because this is where everything starts. The Indies, or are we French onion soup? It's up to you. And who knows, if you have a name for us, we're there. Today, me and my co-host, Mr. RamsFan, all the way from the West. We are the East-West connection. We are reviewing the Nick Gage Invitational 10 from Game Changer Wrestling. And hello, first of all, dear RamsFan, this is your first ever wrestling podcast. Welcome.
Yes. I've called in on wrestling podcasts before, but I've never actually got to host or co-host one. So this is different territory for me.
And we're starting with death matches. How great.
I mean, what a way to do it. You got to dive in all the way, right?
Hey, no fear. No fear. Just like Nick Gage.
No fear. MDK all day.
All day. So this tournament took place on December 13, 2025, the same day John Cena retired at the Global Florida Fairgrounds. And anything specific you wanted? Because it was your idea to go over this. This show as her first try in reviewing like an actual indie show, a big indie show, let's say, because Game Changer Wrestling has been going for a few years now. I've wrestled for them, and they have like huge venue. They're one of the biggest promotions out there. Any reasons, like specific reasons why you wanted to do this specific show?
I've fallen in love with deathmatch wrestling. It is getting a hold on me, and you already had the tournament of survival earlier this year, and they've been hyping up the Nick Gage Invitational, which I never even knew was a thing until this year, because I've been more of a casual GCW fan over the past 3 years. This is the first full year I'm going guns blazing. I'm watching every show I can, watching all the deathmatch tournaments. I'd probably even watch their affiliate Jersey Pro if I could, but I don't know a way that I can watch Jersey Pro right now. Or Jersey. What do
you like in deathmatch wrestling? Because there's a lot of people who are going to say, like, it's barbaric, and there, the blood and the violence. What's the reason why you're so attracted to it?
I will say, it feels like a friendship when you have a certain amount of deathmatch. Like you have these group of deathmatch wrestlers. They're like it's like a band of misfits. They all look after each other. They all seem pretty tight. The light tubes, that's a plus. I mean, they get overused, but that's to find out what people can do with panes of glass and light tubes, different each time, or soda cans, or like what I'm talking about when they cut those soda cans.
Yeah, and they put them on doors and
yeah, I didn't know what a gusset blade was until this like a year or two ago.
They were not a thing like a few years ago, and then they became popular. But yeah, now I don't think we see a tournament without one, or even like these in skewers. Like skewers were done back in the day. Masada was doing like the skewers a lot, but the gussets, it's fairly recent in the world of death matches. And you're right, actually. With the thing with deathmatch wrestlers, like it's really a tight community. It's they suffer together. They patch up their wounds together. It's really like a family. And when it comes to the fans, they're not like bloodthirsty, weird, kind of crazy kind of people. They're really, really enjoying, I would say, the work that the wrestlers put out there, and they're really respectful. And honestly, I've never had tips from wrestling fans until I did most recent matches, death matches. People would come to the merch table, just give me money. Like, thank you so much. That was a great match. And here's $50. I was like, oh, you want a shirt? No, nothing. Thank you. That's all. I was like, wow. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So yeah, it's the fans and the community. They're more than just like crazy people. Well, you have to be a little bit, but it's more than that. And I'm glad you could see through all the craziness that there is, that brotherhood, sisterhood in deathmatch wrestling.
No, for sure. And like you brought up the skewers got even more familiar with me this year with a guy named Atticus Cogar. I know he's been around for a while, but I didn't notice him until his return to GCW. I guess he took a break from GCW for a little while, and he came back this year, and every match he busts out the skewers.
And we're going to talk about it in this show, actually.
Yeah.
So speaking of the show itself, I like that Game Changer Wrestling, starting with the history of the tournament, with the promo videos, and also what I really love is they were doing the NJI, the Nick Gage Invitational, in numbers, like the shortest match, the longest match, and they also presented every participant. So if you were not really if you didn't know exactly like who was in that tournament, at least you had a pretty good idea with the videos they were presenting. The crowd was really close, which was to me a little bit of a concern, because you never know what to expect with death matches. Things go flying. One thing I really loved about one promotion that there is in Montreal here is called IWS. The first rows, they were giving them like goggles and kind of like pieces of plastic or whatever they could put in front of her face, probably like old shit from COVID that they found somewhere. So every time something was blowing up, at least it was protecting their face, which was cool. But I think here's the one thing: if you attend the deathmatch wrestling, you kind of know what to expect. You have to be careful. And I'm, several GCW fans that I saw in attendance, I saw at other shows. A lot of them are traveling for these shows, so they're used to it. The first few matches, we had John Mosley and Matt Tremont, hardcore legend, and several times winner of Deathmatch tournament, which was a great input.
I mean, he's won every tournament you can name in Deathmatch. And then this year, he finally won the one he never won. He won the Tournament of Survival.
He did them all. Crazy, crazy, Matt. And he's younger than me, and he has a hard time walking more than me. Who's like, I think we might have like 10 years in between. Oh, well, Matt's a great guy. And well, with this tournament, Emil Jay, who does a great job as the announcer, says it best: everything is a fucking death match.
Now, I got a question for you about MLJ.
Yes.
What would you say to people say he's too over the top, or he's too, I don't know what we say, too marky, or I don't know what the word's for, but I've seen him catch hate online for being too much of a homer.
People are like, because the announcer, the way he dresses and everything, it's not proper. It's not like an announcer should be kind of clean or whatever. But, GCW and especially the death matches, tournament stuff, it's like you said, it's mostly like a bunch of misfits together. So it kind of fits. What I like about Emil is like, and you'll see it while he's doing commentaries, he's really like he follows the stories. He's good at telling the stories. He has a great voice, which is, number one when it comes to an announcer. And I mean, I understand he's not your typical announcer, but with GC, I think, is there a style or anything you have to wear when you're Game Changer Wrestling?
No.
It goes with the promotion. I think it is what it is. As long as he does a great job with the announcing, and I don't think I've ever seen him fuck up names or anything. Like, he knows his shit. So
no, I like when the match starts early, like when he's in the middle of introductions, he's like, oh shit.
And then he jumps out. He sells the thing. Yeah, that's good.
He did he was getting involved a little bit earlier this year with KJ Orso, the former Fuego del Sol. They were having he slapped MLJ, and then MLJ got his revenge in a cage match. And then earlier this year, Mickey Knuckles,
Auntie Mickey,
she gave him a face full of stuff in the corner.
Oh, damn. Well, good for him. It was free. All right, so match one is a standard death match. There's nothing typical in this one. They just say it's a fucking death match.
Yeah.
And we have Bear Bronson versus Slade. And one thing they show us is that they actually fought at Cage of Survival 4 that was last June 2025, which is actually was Bear Bronson's first death match, which is crazy to me. And Slade, he's a name in death matches. I don't know how long he's been doing that, but I did a few shows with him. Crazy motherfucker with.
Yeah, I saw him. He's the only guy I saw get DQ'd in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
Why am I not surprised?
He bit somebody. He bit.
Oh, well, that's Slade for you. That fits.
One guy I was kind of surprised wasn't in this tournament. Another guy I just got to know this year was Dr. Redacted. I was wondering where he was at. Do you know much about Dr. Redacted?
I did a few shows with him, but I don't know much about everything he did, or since I've been out of the actual ring, I haven't followed much when it comes to the indies. I'm just starting back again. So, yeah. but yeah, I know who you is. So
yeah.
Do you want to go over this first match?
Yeah, I got a couple. Like I will say, people, when we go over these death matches, keep in mind we're not going to go over every light tube that broke and everything, because this comes in your standard death match. But I will point out, like, we had your those little plastic bats when you're a kid, and they come with little plastic balls.
Oh yeah.
They had those wrapped in the thumbtacks. And to go back to your point about people in the audience being too close, those probably went flying a little bit.
And here's the thing, those fucking bats, like with tacks, they fucking hurt. It's not even a joke. Like I didn't know how much these shit hurt until I got it like right in my head, and it was like, oh my fucking God. And for some reason, like the fucking tacks, when you're getting hit with that freaking kitty baseball bat, they just stay in your head. Like, and I had to like grab them and I pull them out on my head, so it looks like it's nothing, but it's the shit.
I felt like if you land back first, it's an adrenaline rush, but if you get hit with the thumbtacks head first, it's not an adrenaline rush.
And then you get them in your hands while you're trying to get up. That's the worst.
Oh yeah. Or like if you're a referee that doesn't wear gloves, you count it in the thumbtacks. Well, I always remember that match back in the day with Cactus Jack and Triple H, and they counted the fall right on the thumbtacks. The referee wasn't even wearing gloves.
Oh, bless him. Bless his flipping heart.
But yeah, we got the plastic thumbtack bat. Punched a light tube into Slade's head. That's always good when you punch a light tube into somebody's head. We got cinder blocks in this match. That's always fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match was there was a few things. When I watch a match, I watch it a little bit like a teacher for some reason, because I can't help it. The first thing that I saw was like, oh fuck, don't do this. And it's going to happen a lot in this tournament. Like I see wrestlers turning their backs on their opponents, and I'm like, no. And there's little selling, registering. And to me, it's like, even if it's a death match, and of course, just by being there, you're tougher because you're enduring all this fucking pain. But if you want people to get behind you and get like some sympathy or like you still have to go over the basics. Like, is there a clear heel? Is there a clear face? And guys, shots to the head, for Christ's sake.
We'll get to a shot to the head later.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. But you see the wrestlers like place themselves and they're waiting for the moves. That's where typical wrestling. I'm sorry if you hear a ball. One of my cats is fucking playing with something. So I there was a little bit of heat from Slade. They went into bigger moves. There was like a power slam, a spear. They went like tit for tat, which I thought was really good because they've met before, so they know each other a little bit. The thing was, you were mentioning the cinder blocks. They both wrapped cinder blocks and they just placed them without saying anything. But I feel like if you want to get the tension up, you got to go like, here, I'm going to place one. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill you. No, I'm going to kill you. There needs to be some interaction in there. And the way also, like, when Slade went outside to get the cart, it was so long. And of course, he was at least selling his arms, showing like a struggle to pick it up. And there was a very good cover from Tremont that was like, he's really hurt, but look, he's picking it up. Adrenaline gives him the strength, So Tremont was doing a great job there to kind of like, explain what was going on. So of course there was a power bomb on the cart. And Bear was waiting, and I was like, pin the fucking guy. There needs to be a sense of urgency. Like, especially you're in first round, you want to get to the second one as soon as you can, and less injuries as much, so you can keep going, because the more cuts you're going to have in the first matches, the more it's going to be hurtful and like a pain in the ass to kind of tape yourself or whatever, or at least pretend that, you want to go through this quick because you want to make it to the final, because you want to win. And I just felt like this one for me was probably, I think, my less favorite match, because I felt it didn't have any tension, anticipation. It was just like moves for moves. And knowing those two guys, I was like, ugh. And there was like a show of respect at the end, which is cool, but we're going to see it over and over and over. And as you mentioned,
I think Bear respects all his opponents. I think that's just the thing with Bear.
Yeah. But they do it in all like deathmatch tournament. And I understand the girl in front of you just gave you their freaking bodies, but if you have respect for everybody, there has to be some sort of, I wouldn't say you don't necessarily have to be mad or in a feud or something, but it's still an opponent that's in front of you in your way to achieve what you want, which is being the winner of the fucking Nick Gage Invitational tournament. Yeah. So I was like, that was missing for me in the first match, but it was the first one. So, but yeah, that bothered me a little bit.
So I got two spots to bring up. So yeah, he won with that. Bear obviously won with that power bomb you mentioned. It was just onto light tubes onto a shopping cart, which made it even more brutal. But did you have a problem when they were sitting over the cinder blocks slapping each other? Like, because we'll get another spot like that tonight where they trade punches. Do you have a problem with that whole let's have a duel where we sit down and we start trading fists or we start trading slaps?
Yeah, there's a famous bar fight. The problem with this is they're not selling and registering the shots, especially on the cinder blocks. At one point, they were like ramming each other's head into it as like, you should be dead. Like, if you should not be getting up and doing it right away. You should stay down a bit. And then, like, really, it has to be hard to get up. And then you look at the other guy and you're like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to do it to you too. Boom. And then it needs more time, because otherwise it's not realistic. No. It hurts for real because it's your head on a fucking cinder block, but you still have to, it's not like full force like you would do it to someone you really hate, and like in the street that would attack you, let's say. But you still have to pretend it is. And so that's when they're doing the 1-2, the exchanges like this. If you're not selling, why should I cheer for you? Because you don't feel anything. So why should I care? But if I see you bleeding and screaming and trying to get through this fucking thing because you have fighting spirit and you don't want to, John Cena, don't give up. But it's crazy. It's the basics, really. So I want to see this, even if it's a freaking, fucking dead match, like Emil Jay says. I still want to see this. I want to believe. I want to get behind you. And it bothers me. The no sell really bothers me. And I've watched some of my old matches, and I would do that, and I was like, what a fucking idiot. And I get mad at myself because now I kind of fucking get it. But sometimes it takes a while, or you want to look tough or you want to do the same as others are doing. But I'm telling you, you don't need to do more. If you feel the pain, people get behind you. And we'll see it in other matches too. Mm-hmm. When there's a sound of pain or grimacing or some, like when people can look at you and relate to the pain you're feeling, you get so much more from the crowd.
Yeah, you do. Now we are on to the match. So yes, Bear advances, and we're on to match number 2 now. It's a Taipei match, which for those that don't know is tape fist.
Yeah, it's a tape fist where you actually put there's a bucket of glass, which is broken glass. Back in the day, IW Mid-South, it would be broken beer bottles, and the tape you have on your hands is really sticky. You put both hands into the bucket, get up, and they're supposed to be full of glass on your.
Never lasts too long, but it does last for a little bit.
Yeah. I really like that Tremont gave a background on this, which, it started like IWA Mid-South in 1995. And I like that he mentioned it was a mix of old school violence with a new school hedge. So that was cool. And here's one thing that's where I was like, why? Because the first match, there was lights, there was cinder blocks, there was chairs, and I was like, why are there other weapons in the Taipei death match? Why there's still like light tubes again and shit? If you're gonna announce it as a Taipei death match,
spoiler alert, we get light tubes in every match.
Yeah. And at least Tremont goes like, you know what? There's lights, there's a glass, it's glass galore. I was like, okay, it's a glass galore match. Okay, I get it.
Like they even what I liked is after they taped their fists, they had their tape fists already, but when they put it in the glass, I like how they just threw the rest of the glass on the ring.
Yeah, they just like went, fuck it. And Jack, which like he's 4 years in, he's a second generation deathmatch wrestler. His father, Iceman. I didn't know about Iceman.
Neither did I.
Yeah, he's from England, and I thought he had really good babyface fire, and he was coming out to Electric Avenue, and it took so long. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the Jey Uso of JCW."
He was melting it. But sorry, folks, I said the name of the match, but I forgot to tell you it's Drew Parker versus Jack Harrod with Daddy Iceman.
Daddy Iceman. They go ahead and dump the bucket, and again, they turn their back to each other, which fucking gets me fucking, man. Yeah. But at least what I liked, it was a type of that match that they started with striking, which what you should do. You want to use those hands. And then, they attempted the whip in the corner and stop. And Jack just grabbed that piece. It was like a bundle of light tubes.
They call it the tower, the Tokyo Tower.
Yeah.
Tokyo Tower.
Around and he just throws it at Drew. I was like, okay, that's a good way to start. I was like, okay, that works. I thought it was funny. This match has had more wrestling, more selling, registering. So I was more invested in this. I really like Drew Parker. I think he's a good wrestler overall too. And in this match, you could see it because it had a little bit more of a structure. When it comes to the match, you could see clearly that, Jack was the baby face, Drew more of a heel. There was also like nice like moves. I always think that deathmatch wrestling should still involve wrestling. It should be wrestling with weapons and not just hitting each other with shit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I thought that Drew was really good. Like he did a good like satellite DDT, and he was also selling the moves because he would fall in glass too.
Satellite DDT through the pane of glass.
Through the pane of glass, yeah. And they went out. They did Parker did a suicida on both Jack and Iceman. The dart spots, I was like, because you could see again, you see the wrestler waiting for the dart. I was like, you need to learn to get hit, sell away, and just kind of fully trust your opponent and know that it's coming, but not like look back and it's like waiting for it. it kills a little bit of the effect of what it could be. I think maybe it's just me, but it's a little bit less convincing to me. There was a cool elbow drop that Jack did, I like Cactus Jack from the apron with the chair to the outside.
I noticed that spot too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I totally thought of Mick Foley with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mick always says like his hip is totally fucked up because of these fucking elbow drops outside, but he did a great job with this one. I like that Parker was selling away, trying to get away from the chaos. I felt though he got up a little bit too fast because that's a big fucking man who drops on top of you on concrete with a chair. And Drew's not really big. There should have been a thing where maybe Jack tries to pick him up and he kind of dies there and it gets really hard. And I don't know, it could be something really dirty like Drew hits him in the fucking nuts and then he can, crawl away, trying to get away from the bigger guy. Because I mean, how I don't think they said how much was the weight of Jack Arrett, but he's bigger than Drew. So
yeah. No, definitely. What did you think of the dart spot when Drew Parker busted out the bar darts, was throwing them in his back?
Well, that's what I was saying about the darts. It's a cool idea because it's something you can do close to the fans. It's something where, let's say you hit the person turns around and sells away, and then you just throw a dart right in front of. So in front of the fans, it's really impressive, but it has to be close to them because they need to see it. If it's in a ring, a dart's really too small. But if you do it around the ring next to them, it's pretty cool. And the only thing, the thing is, you could see like Jack waiting for them instead of going away and trying to get away, and Drew just like throwing this fucking shit. And that's like you gotta, unfortunately, you have to learn to trust your opponent when it comes to spots like this, because otherwise it looks bad that you're waiting for them. Because otherwise it's a funny spot close to the as funny as it can be in that type of chaos, of course. But yeah, that's the thing that bothered me with
I'll get up to a little bit of the no selling and I'll wrap up the match here. So Drew does a swanton through light tubes onto Jack, swanton bomb, and Jack no sells it, immediately gets up, hits a German suplex, hits a spine buster, hits the win. So there's some of your favorites no selling.
It's the thing is, no selling is good once in a while, like those 1 count that people do. Yeah. If it's the end of a feud or something where you want, let's say, the babyface to look very strong, or your opponent, and doesn't need to be a babyface, but look very strong in defeat. He kicks out at 1, but then gets killed 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Looks cool. There's a great moment before the 1, 2, 3, and it means something. But if it's I think in every clip they were showing of other shows, you would see that fucking 1 count. So
Effie was one when they showed the world top. Effie got powerbomb on exposed board, kicked out at 1.
But then again, it's like, you know what? It's a world title, so that would be the match to do it. Yeah. But then if it happens in every other single match, it's not special. Everybody's doing it. You're not one of a kind. So you have to be careful about all these things. To go back on the end, I felt there was not enough of pinfall attempts before they went to the go home. Because you should try to win, do something. There was a nice backstabber from Jack. Oh, yeah. There should have been a pin there and a kick out. Drew would look strong kicking out from such a big move. Also, he did a nice gutter into the glass, like Drew. I'm talking. And I was like, there's nothing. There was a cannonball in the glass, an awesome V-trigger from Drew. You could hear the fucking pop in the face. Yeah. And I was like, and there was good crowd work at this point with Iceman getting the crowd into it. but there was no pinfall for people to get like, oh, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Oh, no, so it was kind of, like you said, it kind of went to the end really abruptly. There was not much of use of type A when it was supposed to be a type A, that match. And again, there was respect. And I was like, one of them is more of a heel, the other a face. I was like, why fucking respect? Do it in the back. In some cases, it's going to happen and it makes something. It means something, but every single match, it's like the one, it's like too much. But yeah. I preferred this match. Like I said, I really like Drew Parker. It looked more like a wrestling match to me because there's more moves and more of a structure, somebody having heat, somebody fighting back. It's just the end, maybe a couple of falsies, couple of pinfalls, couple of just so people could be excited, of who's going to win. Who is it? Him? Is it him? It was like boop, boop. And like you said, bam, bam, 1, 2, 3. I was like, huh? That was it. So yeah. And I would have liked to see Drew going forward, but Jack, I'll give him that. I didn't know him. He's got good fire, good baby face. And yeah, so nice job for that young man of 24 from England.
Oh, damn, only 24.
Yep.
So now we'll get on to match. We'll get on to match number 3 with probably the second most favored person to win the tournament, Otis Cogar versus the Bev and a barbed wire massacre, which wasn't much of a barbed wire massacre.
No. It goes back to what I was saying. It's like they announced the matches as being this particular specialty, but it's not. And they also say there's a lot of history between Otis and the Bev, but I'm like, as someone who's not watching all the shows, or let's say I'm watching GCW for the first time, I always feel like every time you do a show, there's certain things you should explain again, even if your regulars know them, because there's new people watching all the time, and if you want them to understand what's the storyline, is there anything between these two people, you kind of have to go back a little bit for these people. It's really important. And honestly, wrestling fans forget a lot of things. It's always good to just go over a few things and remind them why this is happening. Because I was like, they say this a lot, the history, but you're not explaining. I don't know what's going on.
They always showed you the one clip really from I think it was the mall show, the one in New York. Yeah. But yeah, they're really I don't know why I said that, because as a guy who's watched it almost weekly, there really hasn't been that much history. Mm-hmm. Other than interfering after each other's matches maybe once or twice, there hasn't been a lot of history between the two. They knew they were going to face each other in the tournament. That was really the history.
So maybe it's a start of something, which we'll go back. I mean, at the end, that's how I felt about it. There was a hot start with a spear right in the table. Again, turning the back. I was like, fuck, I can't deal with this shit. They were good at getting the crowd behind, with the clapping. And I was like, okay, Bev probably looks like the baby face a little bit more. And again, we could see Cogar waiting for the shots. That's something guys have to be working on. And the first move on the main gimmick, the barbed wire, I was like, since it's the gimmick of the match, they should kind of work this to, they want to go on the barbed wire, but they don't want to go. And when it happens, it means something. I thought it was a little bit quick. And again, there were tubes. I was like, okay, there's the tubes again. Then whatever, fuck the barbed wire, Massacre. It's tubes again. So.
Yeah. And they had the usual panes of glass, the doors. I think this is our first match with the doors. And usually that's a death match staple. I mean, there's two things GCW invests in at their shows. That's doors and light tubes.
Doors are a lot cheaper than tables. I'm going to tell you that. That's the reason why. And they break easier too. But overall, there was a better structure planning than even the two previous matches, like the heat on Otis, and he was fighting back. And I like that they would hit a big move and then they would set up something. So at least the guy could stay. There was a reason for him to stay down while the other guys was busy at doing something. they should have been selling, you should always sell like when you're using weapons, it's going to cut you too. Always remember that. It hurts your opponent, but it hurts yourself too. Like, especially if you're doing something where you bump in a pile of glass or whatever, don't forget to sell as well, because
definitely
you're also falling into it, and for real, it hurts. Like light tubes, they just shred your freaking skin. So just say ouch or do something. Like, it should hurt you.
But I was going to ask you, Otis, he's famous for using a straight edge razor blade. What do you think of that spot that he does, where he acts like he's cutting your mouth, and he acts like you cut the webbing through your fingers?
I was not a fan of it in this match. Later, he's going to use it in the tournament, and I thought it was a little bit better. But for this one, I was like, I didn't feel it was realistic, because when you put it in the mouth, honestly, I'm expecting a Joker smile.
Yeah.
It's a switchblade. It's a switchblade. So there should be something happening. And especially in this match, there was not like more blood or more, there was nothing more with it. And it's like, to me, it looked kind of fake. The only thing that I will say that I'll give these two guys, they were like excruciating sounds of pain and despair on their faces when they were like being worked on. So I was like, oh my God, finally, like I feel for these two. So I thought that was really good. At least it was sold well. But again, like, it's the switchblade. There should be, not that I want, like, I appreciate the fact that he's taking care of his opponent, but you still have to, think that it's a switchblade. If you want it to be realistic, at least on other matches where he's going to use it, it's going to look realistic.
Yeah.
Because he's going to fucking cut the fingers anyway. But it's depending on how you use it. And I also always prefer weapons that are going to make a sound, because the fans usually, they don't necessarily will react to a move as much as they will react to a sound. So every time there's one light tube that pops, it makes that huge pop, and they will go like, oh shit. And when you use bundle, they crack, but they don't make that popping sound. And they hurt even more. So it's like, fuck, why do you tape those motherfuckers? It's terrible. And like, it shred the skin even worse. And it doesn't make a sound as nice as one or two light tubes that are loose. And so, yeah, I mean, in this match, there was, Bev had a really, really fucking nice Saito suplex and fisherman suplexes.
Oh, that fisherman DDT that he did through the barbed wire light tube? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what you call it, a fisherman DDT.
And he was trying to win. He would go for pinfall. Like, finally, this guy is doing move to get the fucking win. I'm like, yes, I love this. But there was like, the punches didn't land, though. It's a death match, yes, but never forget that if you want people to get into it, like if you're hitting those fucking chair shots so hard, why can't you punch fucking hard, or have more intensity in your punch or anything? Because everything was like, they would go full throttle, and then the punch was like blah. I was like, you got to keep that intensity. There was no, like, I felt clear double down. They went into a comeback after some hard KO, but then they got up, and I felt like nothing hurt at this point, and the structure of the match kind of got lost. Otis, though, also a fucking impressive moonsault. My God, I was
before that spot with the moonsault, though, he went ham with the door. Yeah. He just went crazy with the door and started beating him up with the door. Yeah, that moonsault. Was it a moonsault onto a barbed wire chair?
Yeah. And I mean, when he hit it, I was like, yes, this looks like a finish. I don't think there's anything else they can do that can top this move, which is how you should choose your fucking finish. If there's anything else bigger than so I love that that was the last of the match. But then again, the loser was up very fast. I was at this point, I was like, is there timing issues for everybody to get up so fast? You just got beaten in a death match.
There shouldn't be, especially when they got intermissions in this show and everything.
Yeah. I was like, So, to go back on what we were saying at the beginning of this match, like the history and everything, at least like they went like kind of a quick head to head, and it was better than the fucking respect bullshit. I was like, okay, there's tensions between these guys. I feel it's not over. This is something that's going to keep going. Like, so at least I like the way this match ended, because technically babyface lost, but he wants more. And I feel they can keep going with the storyline because of what the little thing they did at the end. You know, there was no respects or shaking hand or whatever, just a head to head and kind of, I'll see you again and very soon. So I like that. I like that. It was different.
I think these two might have had a match at Tournament of Survival, but I could have been wrong. I could be wrong. That might have been where the history was too. Because
but the door's open for more though.
Yeah. No, and one thing though, even though Vandal 48 and Otis, Vandal 48, that's the group Otis is a part of with Atticus and another guy you see later in the show named Christian Napier.
Yeah, and I have a good one about this one too.
So he gets good reaction, I think. I think the fans really appreciate him. Like, even though he's the bad guy, he still gets the chance. And they love his switchblade. Yeah,
I feel if it's, you know, if one of these guys have to turn eventually, that would be Otis, because I feel the other twos are like, people really hate them, but Otis, there's a love for him, so that would be the way to go. Or he does something despicable to somebody they love to make sure it's clear now that he's a heel, because like he's kind of in between now, but with a heel group, which is you shouldn't be confused on who's heel, who's face, especially if you're someone who watches for the first time, because it gets you confused and it's really hard to follow. So always think about, you know, you want the person who's looking at your show for the first time to come back and look at more. And if you don't understand what's going on or why, or, you know, they're not going to come back. So something to do probably. Then for the last match of the first round, ladders and light tubes. But well, the ladder tubes have been used in every fucking other matches. But at least there's ladders. And what? There is a scaffold. And we got...
Yeah, usually the only time they bring out the... sorry to cut you off. Usually the only time they bring out the scaffold, I think, is when they're in... is it Hartford? It's usually when they're in Hartford.
I don't know.
Or in Atlantic City. There's usually one GCW. They always have that scaffold.
Well, there was one there. Why not use it? That's what.
And I call this like it was like the cruiserweight death match, because Lil'Sicko and Mr. Danger are kind of little guys.
Yeah, I was going to say with this one, you know, that's how I felt too. I was like, okay, this is going to be like the more of high flying kind of death match thing. Tremont's taking a break. I noticed that Emil Jay's now doing commentary too. The entrances were long. Oh God, Jay Uso, get out of fucking. But you know, the ladders were new. The light tubes, they were used in every other matches.
And this is new for me. I'd never seen Lil'Sicko before.
No, same. I've heard of Mr. Danger, but never heard of Lil'Sicko. Yeah. But you know, who's the face, who's the heel? I wasn't sure. Maybe look, baby. They were both showing agility, and what I really like from this match is the beginning. They were trying to win, like right from the start.
Right away.
Not even using weapons. They were trying quick pinfalls. I was like, these guys are smart. They want to go to the second round real fast and not get hurt. I was like, yes, good psychology. I really like that about this match, and I like that Danger. You know, he was looking away. He was not looking at the opponent, waiting for shots at the beginning too. I felt he turned a little bit too quick on that Asai moonsault and was waiting for Sicko. But I mean, sometimes it's better to do that than to drop your freaking opponent on their heads. You know, they went into Tope Suicidas with tube. The first one didn't break. But you know, when sometimes it happens that weapons don't break or something happens, like it's not as planned, sell it. fuck, that didn't go too well. I'm going to try again. It was like, oh, fuck this shit. Let's try this instead. Then you break it on his head. You're going to get a pop from acknowledging that you fuck up, especially in the deathmatch environment. If you acknowledge that your shit didn't work, instead of them saying you fucked up, they're going to laugh with you. So that's something you should always do. Because, you know, shit's going to happen.
There was a good spot in here. A good dive to the outside with a skateboard and light tubes.
Yeah.
Lil'Sicko.
Yeah, Lil'Sicko grabbed that skateboard, went through, and that hurt. That felt like it hurt. Danger went for like a flipping springboard splash. The tubes didn't break. That's like, and the tubes, that's what I was saying. When they're in a bundle and they're like wrapped tight, they're not going to break as easy as, you know, kind of loose tubes or whatever. Usually I would say try to test before you're going to try to do something. The thing with tubes and weapons, you kind of can't really test the tubes, but just know that every time you you get tubes together and you tie them with tapes, they're not going to break as easy. And especially with a guy like Danger, who's not really heavy. And it's like his moonsaults too, and stuff, like he looks really light, like it's like he's not going to hurt you. His landings are safe, so he's not going to break those tubes. So, or
it's like you got a real petite woman you're trying to put through a table. Like you're going to need a lot to put her through that table.
Oh yeah, why? I see that too often, and like I don't have much hair left. Probably watching from all those freaking spots. Sicko hit like a very nice 21 suplex, and I thought that was really cool.
I noticed that Sicko had most of the offense in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
like
which
he did
is
nice. He did a nice Falcon arrow on the light tubes.
Yeah, the only thing like I that was bothering me in this match is they were doing cool moves, but I don't know if you noticed the same thing. There was barely a hint of pain, like in this match. You could, like bigger moves that we're gonna get to, like you could hear them scream and stuff. Because I thought it really hurt for real, like really, really hurt.
No, we get much. Spoiler alert: Mr. Danger wins, but we get much better selling for Mr. Danger in his next match.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because at least like I just felt like that was missing. Like, because it was like really, I do moves, you do moves, there was no selling from Danger went for a springboard to the tubes. That this time it worked, but Sicko was not really selling. Got up, got into that Falcon arrow you were talking about. One thing I want to say about GCW, and it might be more of a deathmatch company, but the referees at GCW are fucking great.
Yeah, I know.
We always. Mm-hmm.
I know Scarlet, or is it Scarlet or is it Starlet?
Yeah, Scarlet. Yeah.
Yeah, I know her, but the male ones I'm not always familiar with, but I know her the most.
Yeah, but like all the refs are great. They were looking for the shoulders. Like if the shoulders were up, they wouldn't count. They would tell the wrestlers no, blah blah blah. Like they would look legit in something that's really chaotic.
You get better referees in GCW than you do AEW.
Oh, yeah. Are they any referees? And then you know what? The sad thing is, I've worked with some of those referees at AEW, and they're good, but it's there. It's like they're non-existent, and everything happens in front of them, and they don't. I don't know. Maybe they got blind. I don't know. It's blinded by Tony's money. Who knows? But who knows? Or the box. Who knows? But yeah, the refs are great. There was a very nice belly-to-belly suplex, like of Sicko, that looked like it fucking hurt, but there was no sound. And I was like, it was like a nice, to go back in time, overhead belly-to-belly, like Owen Hart used to do. And I was like, fuck, I don't see those much, so I really popped for this. That was great. There was a DDT on Danger, but then he started selling the ribs, and I was like, is he really hurt? Because he should be selling his head. And I was like, fuck. I was like, is he all right? I don't know. Like he kept holding his ribs. And I felt like he should have like rolled away, selling his head, kind of looked confused while Sicko was setting up the ladder. They did a top of the ladder sunset flip, and it's a cool move, but please, when you do this move, just be careful the way you land. I see people put their feet first, and it should be your opponent's back and your ass tilted. Why I say tilted? Because you don't want to fall on your fucking coccyx. Because I almost broke mine doing a top rope leg drop because I don't know. I was stupid. I didn't know I had to.
Didn't Matt Hardy? Didn't Matt Hardy kind of teach us all not to do top rope leg drops? Look at the way the man walks.
Lift one side because. Oh, and you're gonna break your legs on a spot like this. Just be careful. Opponent's back first. Your ass tilted, not a fucking asshole. Protect your ass for God's sake, because it's Try to go take a fucking shit after that. Like
you hear that, ladies? LuFisto says protect your ass. I
talk from experience. That sounds really dirty, but I'm talking wrestling only. there was a really cool moonsault with a light tube. And
it was a festive light tube too. It was a starlight tube.
Starlight tubes. Yeah, that was kind of cool. And I was like, Danger should be screaming the shit out of his life right here. And it was like, nothing. But, and then Sicko grabbed another one because there was two. And he did the spot middle of the ring. They went outside for the gussets, and they did the gusset on Sicko. I'm not a super big fan of the gusset. Here, maybe a little bit more because they did it close to the people, because it's not something you're going to hear. You need to be close to see what's going on. And I mean, the visual of having it in your head and it sticks there. But until you remove it, there's rarely blood. So it's not, I don't know. It's not one of my favorite. It's not as impressive. It's not as dramatic, I would say. Anyway, to my liking, but at least they did it outside. And they went up into the scaffold, did a 1-2 with the punches. One thing they should have done, you're on top of a scaffold. Please, for fuck's sake, pretend that you're trying to push your fucking opponents down and you're trying to fight and like, oh no, and kind of going back and like holding on, and you gotta tease the fucking weapon. Otherwise, it's like, okay, we're fighting all down. I felt that was missing. You got to work the gimmick. You want people to get into it. It's like, oh, who's going to fall? Whatever. And Danger pick up Sicko. Went up for a DVD that was blocked, and then they went into a Spanish Fly. So both were selling, which was great because it's a fucking hit for both. And Sicko went for the pin, 1-2 kick out. And I was like, what the hell is going to be more impressive than this fucking Spanish Fly? And I knew at this point, I was like, nothing. Nothing. And I was like, this should have been the finish. But let's see. So Danger was also moving the glass. I know it fucking hurts, but it's like, oh, he should be out. He just took a fucking Spanish Fly from the fucking scaffold. Yeah. And he was already up fighting, and for what? A shit fucking destroyer.
See, I felt like I didn't know whether to write down botches or not, because we're watching the indies, and I feel like you're going to see more botches than you aren't. So I felt this show I left them out. Maybe next show I might keep track of them more. But yeah, there was a couple in this show.
I mentioned those who mean something, like meaning that here the Spanish Fly was so impressive. Everything else happening after that would not be as fucking great. So that's why, like, barely sells the fucking Spanish Fly, and it goes for a Canadian a springboard Canadian destroyer that ends up not working well. And then, Danger puts the glass on Sicko, whatever, Phoenix Splash, which is a very fucking cool move, and yes, should be a finish usually. But in this particular case, it was not as cool as the fucking Spanish Fly. And it was,
you know what I blame? I blame the Spanish Fly has also been It's also been a problem in mainstream wrestling. The Spanish Fly never keeps anybody down. Whether they call it the standing C4 or the Spanish Fly, that never gets the job done. So I kind of understand why I wouldn't get the job done in the death match.
Yeah, and I mean, you could argue that a Spanish Fly, both people are taking the move technically. Yeah. So it could be a nice double down. But to be a double down, you got to stay down until the referee starts counting. And then you get up both like in fucking pain. And then you go maybe in that 1-2 or into a babyface comeback. So it means something. Both are down and they're like, all barely make it to the 10 count. And then they clash again. Then it means something. But if the guy who fucking took it gets up and gets it to a fucking destroyer, it's like, why? That was for nothing. And again, I was like, yeah, at least the Phoenix Splash was really cool. But I just felt if the Spanish Fly would have been at least sold better as a big double down, it would have been better. And then there was respect. Again, I was like, as we say in French, tabarnak, which is fuck. I was like, I literally wrote tabarnak on my, and I was like, you know what? Maybe here because it seems to be two baby faces. I was like, I can kind of let it go. And it's also the end of the first round. Okay. But it happened in every fucking match before. So why do I care?
Except for Otis and the Bev, because that was the only actual match that had real heat. Yeah.
Exactly. And that there could be something else coming up in other shows.
Yeah.
So with that said, we had a round 2, which would be Bear Bronson versus Jack Aaron and Otis Cogar versus Mr. Fager.
We had Rhys, Maddox, and Parrow. Is it Parrow or Farrow?
It's Parrow. Yeah. Parrow. Right after we had that non-tournament matches.
So just to gloss over that, the biggest things in that match were a shotgun drop kick through a door on a Parrow. And then Parrow choke slam Rhys Maddox for the win. There wasn't much to it. Just a little extra time before the intermission, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a proper structure of a younger kid coming and fighting one of the guys that's established. I popped when fucking Parrow went for a big tiger bomb and Maddox kicks out and he's like, fuck these kids. I was like,
yeah, I saw you shared that on Twitter. Yeah.
That was great. But otherwise, yeah, it was just a little match to, in between, because you got to kill time between the rounds because it's fucking crazy, especially a death match. You need a break. But then, Parrow was giving props and respect to the kid, and it was like, why? Is like, again, I was like, But otherwise, like, I think it did the job. There was like big moves. I thought like Maddox had good shots, good fire. You could, I don't know how long he's been wrestling. Not too long, I think, but moving too fast. So things.
I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him before on GCW, but it's been one of those scramble matches that they usually like to do.
Yeah. So just slow down so things look better. Less sloppy. If you slow down, everything's going to be cleaner. And I mean, Parrow's Parrow. He's a good big man that they have, and he's established there. So, hey, it was like, cool. Did the job, and fuck these kids. That's all I have to say.
How do you say fuck these kids in French?
Fuck, kiss les enfants. I don't know. Allez chier les enfants. Because for us, it's like, go shit. It's like.
So now, like you said, we're getting on to Jack Harrod and Bear Bronson in a round 2 match in our death match. Nick Gage Invitational Tournament Festival of Friendship.
And I like that Bear was looking at the material when he was doing his entrance and made it look important. That was clearly a baby match. They had a hard look at each other. They were serious, and they were both getting the crowd behind. At least like it was baby, but in a way where you could see like they were taking this seriously. they right from the start shotgun into the fucking Coke can door. I was like,
and it's doors of death, by the way, this match.
Yes, in matches where there's been other doors. But anyway, there's light tubes again, and I don't know if it's a thing with Jack Harrod. He just grabs the fucking door and throws it right in the face of fucking Bears. Like he just grabs stuff and throws him. I'm all for that. So I like that the opponents, like, they were kind of looking, at the crowd, trying to get the crowd going, and that's how they would get kind of distracted, like playing to the crowd for the other one to come and hit with a light or anything. They went outside. They went into what I like to call the Japanese spot of they throw the opponent in the chair. They kind of throw the chairs over. And then we get into that bar fight you were talking about, the punches. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. These fucking punches on the chair, like, you could hear like, they were solid. You could hear them. So they went back and forth also at throwing chairs. I felt they should register the fucking chair a little bit more. It's like, it's not like just a slap. Like, it's a chair in your fucking face. Just fucking please sell it or turn around, hold your face. Give me something. Give me something to care. But the idea of it was great, especially in front of the crowd. It's exciting for them. And, they went outside. They went back in the ring. And Bear tried to pick up Jack. It was really hard for a slam. He kind of didn't push himself, but I like that. I think it's Tremont goes like Tremont or the other guy. I'm not sure. He goes like, fuck it, it's high enough. Like Bear like had enough of him high. Like he was high enough for him for it to hurt or whatever. I was like, good cover. I was like, great. They went outside, did the same kind of thing where this time Jack was thrown in the chair and the chair's on top of him. There was a little bit more registering. And when they went inside, they were using the ropes to stay up, which I really like. And they kind of collapsed on top of each other. And they went into that 1-2 with the light tubes. I felt it looked better there because you would kind of feel the pain because they would take a little bit longer after each hit to kind of like let the people know that it actually hurt. I don't know what you thought about. There was like that table outside setup that was there with the lights, and they went into like a back and forth with the headbutts.
Oh, you're talking about when they both, sorry, go ahead.
Double headbutt and they fell into it.
Yeah,
I just felt like it was like, it's not.
That's equivalent to the spot, like when you have a ladder match and you're both standing on the ladder and they both kind of wobble the ladder and then fall off. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not as cool when you go like, oh, I'm just gonna fall through.
Yeah, that's something I was like, that kind of felt a little bit like it, So, but
one spot I liked before we got to that was earlier. There was a suplex by Bear Bronson into a carpet strip covered door.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay, but of course they should use all the freaking doors they can because it's a doors of death. And I like also that Bronson was like, drop the light. And he's like, I want to throw a hand because he's a man's man. So they went into the little 1-2. I almost felt like they should have done that for the spots on the apron. Well, they should have like hit themselves with the lights and then go like, no, we want fist. And then maybe knock each other out instead of a like light headbutt. That would have been, I think, better than just like a little headbutt and then they were stuck in the barbed wire, which is fucking terrible. Tell me, I'm telling you, when you get trapped and then you can't get out and you have to pull to get yourself out because you got to finish that fucking match. It sucks. Yeah. It really sucks.
No, I've seen wrestlers have to get cut out of it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, terrible.
And if you got long hair, forget about it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Back in the ring, Bear did a thing that he also did in match 1 where I don't know why he does that. He whips himself in the ropes and then goes for a double choke. But I was like, why do you whip yourself? But anyway, Arup reversed it into the spine buster. kick out at 2, which was super important because this is how he won round 1. So the move looked important because Bear kicked out, and it made him look great because he kicked out from whatever the other guy did not. So that was cool that they did this little like wink wink from the first match. And the only thing I thought was weird, like he took the move, and I don't know if the lights were hurting him too much, but he was like awkwardly laying on the mat with his arm kind of up. I mean, I know it fucking sucks, but when you're going for a count, like for the fucking 2 seconds you have to stay there, just make sure you're laying there fully, like, so it looks like a pin. Because I don't know if you people go back and you watched it, you'll probably know what I mean. His hands, like he was almost like not like fetus, like his hands like close together on his chest. But anyway, I like that Bear he sold the fuck out of this move, like sold away, and it gave Jack like time to set up that table and get, the gussets and everything he wanted to get together. And he kind of set like everything over. He set the stuff, grabbed Bear exploded, and he just grabbed it into like a choke bomb. And I was like, why? Like, you should have hit him before, because it's kind of the other guy is having control, and then you just get up and you take control without nothing. Then they should have been like, yes, a big headbutt or a big forearm or his discus lariat or anything out of nowhere just to knock Jack a little bit. And for the choke bomb, there was no pin attempt. And I was like, it kind of tells me like, you should try. You should try to win. Cover the guy like at all costs. And then once he kicked out, let him sell and go to set up. So that spot, I didn't feel really comfortable with it. Bear put the gusset on the arm, folded the door on top, and did the chair shots. But then Jack was on his side. And then splash from the top rope, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, man, don't take splashes on your side. I know the door took like most of the hit, but it's the best way to have fucking broken ribs. I was like, you can't protect yourself as much as a splash where you can actually lift up and kind of catch the guy ish. So I was like, oh God, like, no, don't do this. But at least he seemed all right. And Tremont mentioned that, Bear Bronson's had a meteoric rise within the 6 last months. Well, since he left AEW, he's been doing awesome, which is.
And great. I watched him when he was in AEW, when he was Bear Country.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of been a fan for him for a while, and I just like that I could see him in this deathmatch element in GCW. I'm worried now he's signed with he was working for TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that doesn't mean the end of his GCW run.
Usually TNA are more lenient when it comes to letting talent getting bookings. I just don't know with the WWE thing going on. I don't know how much, or if they are okay with people doing death matches. But I mean, other wrestlers, they wrestle elsewhere. Like I've been going at shows where there was like TNA wrestlers on these shows, so they're pretty much open. But Bear has been doing great since he left AEW. He's booked everywhere and he seems more comfortable and happy, which is the fucking people think that signing with a big promotion is like the top of everything, but sometimes it's not.
It's really only the money. The money is really, that's what it is.
Yeah, but even then there's a maximum of money you'd make according to whatever contract you sign. When you're in the indies, you could do whatever you want online to make money. You make your own merch. You don't give him any percentage. It's all in your pocket. You can say no to shit. You're your own boss. You can pick and choose there's a liberty that comes with independent wrestling that you can't get when you have a contract. And so a lot of people are more comfortable, more happy this way. I mean, Matt Cardona's doing great. I think he's making more money than ever. Good for him. There are ways to work the indies and be super happy and be free and do what you like to do and your passion. You don't necessarily need a contract today. Back in the day, yes, but nowadays with internet and everything there is available when it comes to wrestling, there's so much wrestling out there. Like, if you don't like what you see from big two companies, there's TNA, there's NWA, there's GCW, and there's even more. It's everywhere. There's
backyard wrestling, if that's your thing,
Hey, micro wrestling, midget wrestling, like all stuff, all women's wrestling, all kinds of shit. And by the way, I say midget wrestling because Dink once told me never to say little person's wrestling because he says I would be killing the history of it. It's called fucking midget wrestling. So that's how if he's telling me that, that's how I'm going to say it because he fucking knows. Who am I to say anything? The man says midget wrestling, it'll be midget wrestling. So,
hell yeah.
Oh, so before we go to the next match, GCW has tons of fucking events coming in 2026. Lots of them from January 3rd to March 8th. They're going to New York, to Connecticut, to California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and more. So when I'm saying that indie wrestling is alive and well, there's a proof right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially our next biggest show. I'd say we probably should cover this show if you don't mind. We don't have to cover. Well, we'll decide on when we want to cover it. We should probably cover the New Year's Eve show.
Oh, yeah. Shotzi versus Priscilla Kelly in a what's it called?
A 6 feet under death match.
6 feet under. I'm really curious to see what it's like. Probably a few caskets and shit. Oh, who knows?
I think Shotzi is going to be on Hog tonight. I still haven't checked out Hog. Have you ever watched Hog? House of Glory?
I actually did a show with them and watched a few. There's very good talent there, so yeah, you should check it out.
Like I like Charles Mason. He works for him.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Allie Ketch.
Of course.
I'm worried though. Allie Ketch hasn't came back to GCW since she's broke her leg. She's only been working other indie shows. So I'm wondering if she's done with GCW. I don't know, but at least you can catch Allie Ketch a bunch of other places. She's everywhere. Yeah, so match 7. The other one just before the finals is Mr. Danger versus Otis Cogar. And they say Otis is the evil incarnate. And I was like, I didn't really feel that, but I guess it's something that he built along the way. It's the nickname he's been rolling with since I've known him.
But I was like, okay. I wish people would, even if it's a death match, give me more about your character because you have these names and
and Mr. Danger, he's still new to the game, I think. Like he's another guy I only discovered this year. And I don't think GCW started booking him until this year. And he was also a part of the Tournament of Survival earlier this year.
According to the commentators, they're 2 fan favorites. I thought Otis was a heel, but what do I know?
No, but remember I brought up on Otis, the fans love him.
Yeah, fans love him anyway. This match fucking, I like the way it started because Otis was like swinging a chair and Danger kept ducking and he did the fucking classic thing of where he hit the top rope and hit himself. I was like, that's a nice spot. Like once in a while, like especially in the death match, you don't expect that because usually it's always like something stupid out of nowhere. But I was like, okay, that's a cool way to start and to knock the bigger guy to knock himself a little bit out in front of the smaller guy. So I was like, that was cool. And then, oh my God, I don't know if you noticed, but I was like, Danger's the fucking king of the springboards. Everything he does is a fucking springboards. Like, springboard.
That's like a cruiserweight.
Springboard moonsault, springboard senton, springboard. Fuck. I don't know. Like, props to him because I can't springboard to save my fucking life. I'm also 5 foot tall and I have legs of tiny person that are too fucking thick. So
if Rey Mysterio can do it and he's only 5 foot tall, you can do it too.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I have other qualities. But
I swear when I looked you up on Google, it said your finisher was the top rope springboard leg drop. Could be wrong.
Whoa, I used to do a top rope headbutt. I did the leg drop, but like I said, I really hurt my ass, so it was gone. I was like, fuck this shit. No, I was using the burning hammer, actually. So I was chopping people on their heads. It was great.
Nice. I love the burning hammer.
Yeah. Oh, from the king. And let's go. Let's not talk about me. Let's go back to...
Speaking of the springboard, you mentioned the springboard leg drop onto Otis while he was laying on the pane of glass in the chair.
Yeah, well, I was getting there because I just want to say, like, he hit like a really nice black hole slam as a cutoff to stop Danger from all this springboarding fucking thing going on. And he spit water. Also, the crowd started chanting H2O. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I was like, why not? And then, like, I don't know if you noticed, but that's where Danger really started selling, like screaming like a man.
Oh, that's when he was screaming for his life, like bloody murder. Oh my God,
because Otis like was beating the shit out of him like with tubes like in his back. I was like, this is hurting for real. It fucking hurts. I was like, I could see it. I was like, I feel the pain of this poor guy. And Otis was really like playing the role of a heel there, putting the heat on him. He grabbed the pane of glass, wiped his own blood on it, then licked it. Then that's the spot you were mentioning just a second ago, where Danger stops him, and like Otis goes down very gently so he doesn't break the pane of glass, but then comes in Danger with a springboard leg drop on top of Otis that goes through the glass onto the chair. It's a very cool spot, but like the way it was set up, I just felt like, yeah, you could see like Otis very like being careful and waiting for it. But the idea of it was really cool. I was just setting up another way so it's not so obvious. I like that Otis like kind of was using his own body to fight back because he ran into Danger, who was holding a chair like a fucking ram into it, and went into for that low corner flying elbow. And I was like, oh, that looks like it's fucking like it looked like a really solid hit for such a little guy like Danger. I was like, oh, that's gotta hurt. But that was great work again from the ref, making sure the shoulders were down. At one point, Otis picked up Danger. He exploded into furious slaps with a back fist. But I was like, you just wiped him. I was like, hit the motherfucker. I was like, God damn. I was like, hit him. But, he was up again, and then springboard clothesline. And Danger set up like two chairs with a pane of glass on top of Otis. Went for 450 over everything, went through. And of course, he was selling the hit because his fucking stomach went through the glass. I was like, cover, kick out. Danger argues with the ref. He can't believe that he actually kicks out, which is a fucking nice spot to do this. Because sometimes you'll see it often where like, why is it just two? But it was just like a regular move. It's like, oh, because it's not a big move. But then 450 kick out. Yeah, you can argue with the ref. What the fuck? How come he kicked out? I can't believe it. That's a great way to do it because it's impressive. Otis, used the ropes to get up. He was a little quick to get up, but at least he used the ropes because it was hard after getting hit with the fucking 450 and the glass and everything. At least Danger was also, like I said, killing time while he was getting up with the ref arguing. There was a side choke slam throw. He threw Danger like a fucking trash, like a piece of trash. Boom. And he kind of same thing, set up two chairs, barbed wire, pane of glass on top of Danger. It was kind of tit for tat, kind of doing the same thing that just happened to him. Danger's popped out of nowhere so quick, and grabbed in the corner.
I thought he was going to sorry to cut you off real quick, but I thought he was going to Sabu him with the glass. I thought he was going to throw it like Sabu style right at him.
It would have been better, I think, if there was been something, because at least if he gets up kind of, he's kind of confused, grabs and the pains and just fucking throws it and explodes. Yeah. I think it would have looked more realistic that for him to, whoop, pop up and just be there out of nowhere. But anyway, the payoff for this was fucking awesome, though. A fucking Candido bomb, a top rope fucking power bomb through the fucking thing. 1, 2, 3. I was like, okay, see how I said in the previous Danger match there was nothing more impressive than the fucking Spanish Fly. Everything that happened after was like, eh. This match was like, there was nothing more impressive than that fucking finish. So that's a finish. I was like, this is great. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to add about this match.
No, you did it perfectly. No, that was because
yeah.
I didn't take a lot of notes on this match because it seemed like there was those big spots that we covered, but there wasn't as much as all the other matches.
Mm-hmm. It was. I felt they had like good chemistry too. Like, yes, Danger, less experience, you could see it, but I mean, it was flowing in a way. So, and then then they had a kill time before the main event. And there was a promo from, like I said, I didn't know anything about this group because I haven't watched GCW for a while. I haven't been there for a while. And so I call him Dude. Dude goes in the ring. Give it up for Otis. And the way he says it was kind of, So at this point, I don't even know if I don't know it's his partner. Because the way it's like, give it up for Otis is kind of, fuck you. I was like, okay. Like, and then we see Gail Kim in the crowd. I don't know if you have any background because I know there's been that thing online.
I was hoping you would know because I know people follow the Sarah Stock stuff. I don't. Gail Kim has showed up to a GCW show to confront Joey Janela. So this is the second time she's been at a GCW show. I don't know where this is going. I really don't.
Because I know there was a thing where she mentions like she didn't like death matches online.
Yeah.
And then she was there, but I didn't know the background story to it.
Yeah, she got in Joey's face, and Joey Janela called her an effing bitch, and she slapped him. And then Joey ended up having a match with KJ Orso that same night, I think it was. And Gail Kim helped screw Joey Janela.
Oh, okay. The great. It's good to have a background because I did not, and I was surprised to see her there. It was like,
but like as a person that doesn't follow anything, she's besides what I heard when I think the Darby fish tank spot. I think she talked about that. Besides that, I haven't heard. I don't read her Twitter stuff, so I don't know a lot of her gripes.
Anyway, was nice to see her there. So
yeah.
So Dude, that I call Dude at this point because I don't know who he is, shoots on Nick Gage, shoots on Brett Lauderdale. He doesn't say his name. Like, he has that VNDL 48 that I'll know later. It's Vandal 48. And I was like, whenever you do a promo, I don't give a shit. Say your fucking name. Whoever you are, hey, this is blah, 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 or whatever. Or you don't do this to say your name. Because I didn't have a fucking clue who it was. And then... bless his heart. Iceman comes out. And then I don't know if you feel the same that I did. Dude, his name is Christian. I'll know later. Slaps him. And then there was an awkward moment of ducking and punches and awkward running.
I mean, they actually fooled me. I thought Nick Gage was... I know Nick Gage has had a lot of personal woes this past year. Like the death of his wife or girlfriend.
Yes.
I thought that was leading him coming out. I really did. I didn't think we were going to get Iceman again.
I felt it was kind of and then Christian goes out to people chanting pussy and just like the Tiny Toons, that's it, folks. And that was it. And it was like, okay, that's it. Was what it was.
I'm glad the crowd was invested in Iceman, but you really didn't know much about him.
It's more that I don't know. Everything felt awkward in the next segment. I felt for the guy because I felt like he had, I don't know if he has bad knees, but the running, I was like, and I can relate to bad knees. I have arthritis, like everything, like I have no ligaments or meniscuses in my right knee, and I exploded my patella on the left side. So I know fucking like it's fucking terrible. But I was like, oh, that was weird. I don't know. So somebody else maybe or
I was thinking Tremont even could have came out from the table. Like he could have talked.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Tremont later, but I feel like he could have did it right there.
Yeah, it's just like I'm sure it was a nice gesture that wanting to give Iceman something, but it's just because I don't think there's going to be anything else after that unless Jack comes back and they fight the Vendel 48. But
yeah,
anyway, it's my take of it was what it was.
Now we get to the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes of the finals of exposed boards, light tubes again, barbed wire, panes of glass again. And as Emil Jay said, whatever the fuck we have. Yeah. I don't think I've seen exposed boards before. Like even the tournaments I was part of.
Really?
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw that was TNA. It was a match between Bully Ray and Sting. And Bully Ray exposed the board, and he gave a power bomb to Sting on the exposed board.
Oh, I mean, I've seen spots, but as a
as the whole match. Yeah,
as a specialty, I
think
don't
they call that. I think, the only time I've seen
they say exposed boards.
Yeah,
that's how they.
I think I might have seen it in versions, but earlier in this year at the Tournament of Survivor, the finals was like a concrete death match, and that was basically they replaced the boards with concrete blocks. Oh. Like so, the concrete blocks just surrounded the whole ring, and you were landing on concrete blocks, cinder blocks, the whole match.
I mean, there was a match that we decided to fight outside because the ring was so shitty and we thought we were going to die. It's like, I'd rather bump on the concrete, and there it was. So yeah, but yeah, it's painful. And when you bump it, it's like, it's kind of stings. I don't know how to explain it. Like, but it's like, yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, Bear's going to the ring. He's limping. He's in pain. You can actually
He's a wounded bear. That's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah, he's a wounded bear. He's a wounded bear. So our referee is Mr. Adam Gold. I like the big Japanese Phil big match presentation. We have Japanese intro. Bear's 285. He's from Long Island. He's the deathmatch berserker. And part of Vendel 48 in Cleveland, Evil Incarnate, Otis. They don't mention his weight. I was like, why not? I'm big fight feel weights. I always felt like weights in wrestling should be mentioned, even for women. It was like, anyway. So the bell rings. They break lights on like the boards of the ring right away. It's a very slow start. They are studying each other, and for the first time in this fucking tournament, lockup. There are 2 lockups. I was like, but at least a lockup is like, it's always, it's like the first move of a match, and I feel it makes everything more important because you're like testing your opponent, and both want to win. This is the last match. I want to see what's in front of me, so they kind of test each other. So I kind of like that they went pretty old school just to start. And they were pushing towards the barbed wire because one thing we didn't mention, like 2 sides of the ring were like, there was a bunch of tubes taped to the ropes, and the other side were like wrapped in barbed wire. So from the lockup, they were trying to push each other into the gimmicks. So they were actually working the gimmick. So I really like that. You don't want to go in there, but I'm trying to get you in there. So I like that they were actually working was around them. There was a slam attempt on Bear, and he blocked, and then he used lights and kind of pushed Otis, and the lights came back. Big slam on the boards, and the glass that they break at the beginning. There's literally like glass everywhere. It doesn't take long actually for Bear's back to be like a bloody fucking mess. I like.
No, and it was already sorry.
Oh yeah,
it was already bloody from I think either round 1 or round 2. Like I think Bear probably got beat up the most on his whole body throughout this whole.
Yeah, and he went in there without a shirt. A lot of the other guys had like either a shirt or like a singlet or something. Like he was.
I think him, Mr. Danger, and Drew Parker were the only ones that weren't wearing a shirt.
Slade.
Oh yeah, Slade.
Yeah, that's it. So there you go. Sure. I really like the discussion between Matt and Emil that they were talking about, how does it feel between the rounds and how does it feel to make it to the finals? How do you get your energy? And Matt was like, man, you need the sheer passion from the fans because you're dead, you're cut, you're hurt. And I like that they gave like a background of, how, what is it to be in that? How is it to be in that position of being in the deathmatch tournament finals? So that was really cool from them to talk about it. One point you could see like Otis went for the switchblade, and that's where I felt like it was a much better than the first match that he used it, because he removed the glove of Bear, went into like between the fingers, and you could see like the blood pouring from the hand, and was like, oh my God, like I feel this. Yeah. It's gotta hurt. I'm sure it feels like a freaking bigger paper cut between the fucking fingers. Like you could feel like, and I'm sure like hands are really tough to kind of recover when you get cut in like weird places. And I was like, I'm sure Bear felt this fucking thing for weeks. I was like, I felt so bad for him, but props to fucking taking the shot. But at least the switchblade here was important. One thing you should have done maybe is go for punches and like kind of sell and hold his hand to even sell it more to make it even more important. But at this point, it's details. One point, like also,
one thing I thought made it a little more cool looking. The visual was he had it in between the barbed wire wrapped ropes when he was doing the razor spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're in the gimmick of the main gimmick of the match as well too. So yeah, it looks more like crazy, and it's cool. The final should be like a step above everything else. Yeah. And then he went like he Otis grabbed like a pane of glass to swing, and here's the thing with panes of glass, you can't have it at an angle, it's not gonna break. So the first time he goes for it, the swings at Bear, it doesn't break. It really has to be an up and down movement for it to shatter, which he does the second time he tries. And then, of course, it fucking explodes. And that's where, again, like Bear's back is even more of a mess. It's like he fights back from everything, and he's fucking bleeding. Otis throws him in the corner on glass. And I like Bear at this point, like walks around the ring. He takes his time. You can feel his pain. He goes for a big slam, goes for a pin, finally a fucking pin, 1-2. And then comes the fucking tube cabin. I didn't even I've seen that before, but I didn't know it was the actual name. I was like, it's a
I was trying to think of how that's a cabin. I wrote down it's four sides of light tubes with 3 on each side.
Yeah, it's like a square, and then it's a cabin. I'm like, oh, fancy word. Excuse me, it's a cabin. And and they did a thing where suplex, block, reverse, block again, and then Otis goes through the cabin. And what I really like right there is like the ref. You could see him right away go check, because here's the thing with, like I said, when you have light tubes that are tied together, especially in something weird like that, it's gonna break awkwardly, and that's how you're gonna get those fucking huge pieces of glass into you. And I like that the referee there was really fucking quick on going right away, check Otis's back to see if there was any weird cuts or anything huge stuck in his body or whatever that he could fall on and that could get trapped, because light tubes stay. Here's news. Light tube stays in your body for a very long time. 8 years later, I popped a few lights out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
It's real. I don't know, but they fucking stay in your body forever. So I really love that the referee did that. Check the back, and Otis got up and straps went down at this point. Him too. He was like not bare naked, but
that's where they peeled everything off and was like Big Hoss style. F this.
Yeah.
And there was also this point of the match where most of Bear's blood from his back was on the middle of the ring.
Oh my God, yeah, and he removed his glove and he removed his bandages, and you could hear Tremont, don't do this, but he was doing it anyway because he's fucking crazy. Otis was asking for punches, a little bit more of what we saw before, like they wanted to trade like us.
And he was like, you hit like a pussy or whatever he said.
Yeah, and you know how I was talking about registering? I love the first fucking punch Otis gave Bear. Like he folded like in half and was there and like feeling the pain is like, and he got up slowly and then went boom for like everything felt more real. I hope that they had kept this going like this instead of going back and forth real quick again, because I love that they were like getting like we could feel the pain. But you know, there was a discus lariat from Bear, ducked by Otis into a big Uranagi slam. And then they get, man.
That Uranagi.
Like, yeah.
That Uranagi left a fat blood stain, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It was like right there. And that's where they fucking get what they called a guardrail of light. It looked like a gigantic.
One said guardrail, one said bike rack.
Yeah, bike rack, guardrail. What else? Like anyway, so Bear is down and he goes, fuck you, Otis. I don't give a fuck. Kill me. And I was like, why would you say that? And then there's a chair shot on the head. A fucking chair. I was like,
totally unprotected. And that's where the fans they chanted CTE.
Yeah, and you know what's sad? They're fucking right, because there's no way, I don't give a shit if you're with a chair shot like this. You know what? Matt goes, blunt force trauma. And I was like, yeah, that's a shoot. Because even if you don't go down, even if you don't knock with a shot like this, you're giving yourself a concussion. It's might be a small concussion, but your brain has just moved. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Like nobody has a cranium fucking big enough to stop. This was a concussion. I don't care.
It rattles your brain rattles in your skull like dice in a Yahtzee cup.
Exactly. And you see that big white flash. I'm pretty sure Bear Bronson saw the big fucking white flash. Do not do this, guys. Please. There was a time where in my fucking generation, I'm going to sound like an old fucking grizzled rat, but it was like, if we put our hand, we were called pussies. But trust me, there's a lot of people in my generation who have so many problems from all these fucking chair shots. I am blessed that besides forgetting why I got up once in a while, but what was I getting in the fucking fridge? Like, that's all I have. There's a lot of people who have depression problems and suicidal thoughts. Like CTE is fucking
Or you
terrible.
have what Daphne had, where you got those ringing ears.
Yeah, the ringing ears. There's so many things that can happen to you. Protect your fucking self with the chairs. Honestly, the Sabu chair shots are better because they kind of bounce. They don't go through the fucking head. They bounce and they're off. Okay. That's it's not good, but it's better. But yeah, please. We know enough now from fucking CTE. I was like, oh, Bear, don't do this. Don't do this. But anyway, let's go back to funny and happy because we're going home. Or maison, as we say in French. Otis goes for his fucking moonsault, great moonsault, but misses. Bear tackles the shit out of him into that light tube fence, bicycle rack, you call them, in the corner and fucking explodes. Sky high on the bundle of tubes. 1, 2, 3. And your winner of this, tournament in his first year of doing death matches, the deathmatch berserker, Bear Bronson. Anything else about this match before we talked about?
This is the second time Otis has been to the finals of a deathmatch tournament in the same year, and then he was a bridesmaid, not a bride.
Damn.
So I feel like Otis has his coming soon. I just don't know when.
Well, maybe when he gets rid of the fucking two guys who were being annoying around him. Anyway.
And then after the match, we got that little schmozzle with I think they're trying to lead. I think they might have signed it already, but I think it's going to be Bear Bronson. I think this is in one of their February shows. It's going to be Bear Bronson and Atticus Cogar because they had a little thing to end the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the whole match, if we go back a little bit on this match was different from everything else, I would say. It felt also fast. I felt for a main event, it was kind of fast. I don't know if it's because there was a nice flow or I was more into it because they were taking their time and I had time to understand what was going on and see everything. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. There was not really a very, you know how you go from very slow to fast and then go back. It was more of it kind of stayed the same. I don't know if they were tired of it just the way they worked. It wasn't bad. Like I liked it, but I felt it was missing a little bit of incitement and maybe a little bit of momentum. Maybe more, again, pinfalls at the end to kind of tease that it could have been Otis. It could have been Bear. It could have been Otis. It was not enough back and forth to kind of the suspense of disbelief where you're like, you're not sure who's going to win. It went kind of fast, like 2 moves and home. But I mean, I like the match. And I'm really happy for, Bear. His first match, I didn't really like. The second one was a lot better. And this one too, I think he's getting to feel really comfortable into the deathmatch world. And I think he enjoys it too, which is really important because you're fucking killing yourself. And then, as you mentioned, there was like a post-match thing. Bear didn't have much time to celebrate, actually, because Atticus and Christian, dude from the promo, from Vando 48. that guy, they showed up and, attacked Bear. And then Atticus goes down his pants and gets fucking skewers like that were, I don't know. He
never leaves home without him. He really doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But they were in I don't know, in his underwear next to his penis. I don't know.
Maybe he was full of Mick Foley. He had him in Socko,
Who knows? But they were in there. And I was like, ooh, God. Ew. I was like, that's not very kind of clean if it goes into Bear's head. But it is what it is. So Tremont is a commentary. And we know, of course, from the beginning of the show where Tremont mentioned that Bear is actually his tag team partner.
They're known as Bear Dozer.
Yeah. Bear Dozer, that's so cool. So he goes, fuck this, and he leaves commentary, helps Bear, shits can Otis, a very smooth shit can. Yeah. Then Christian takes a clothesline, rolls out, Tremont follows, and that's where Atticus and Bear kind of look at each other over the GCW World Championship, and Atticus, fucking idiot, turns his back. Hey, whatever, dude. Turns his back. Turning your back to your opponent drives me fucking insane. If you don't know by now, you fucking know now. Because anyway, Bear grabs him, gives him a big fucking Rikishi driver kind of thing, grabs the belt, and he said that he's coming for it. And lifts it up, and the end. And we went over the full death match over a little bit underneath 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which was the length of the show? No, that was longer than that. No, that was.
You take out the intermissions.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Any final thoughts about the show? Anything you would like? Anything you enjoyed more than any others, or things you would change? Or
I'm thinking, when I look at the people in the tournament, maybe I would have switched some matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would have had Bear, and let me see. Go to the matchup.
I would have liked to see Bear and Drew Parker.
I would have had Slade and Otis, I think, in round one, and then I would have had Bear and maybe Jack Harrod.
Yeah, a good baby face, baby match to get the crowd going, because they were both working the crowd, and first match should get the crowd going, so that would have been a good one to start too. Yeah, I do agree. The fucking Spanish Fly should have been finished. The Candido Bomb was great. Besides that, like I would tell the guys, don't look at your opponent while you're selling, or don't be so obvious. Don't wait for the moves it shows. Sell around and get into the moves. Don't wait for the moves. It's really obvious. It's not because it's a death match. And yes, there's more risks, but if you slow down everything, everything's going to be more safe and people are going to understand what you're doing. What you're doing is something, it's special. It's different. Not too many people do death matches. Make sure they see everything so they can, the crowd in wrestling is part of the match. To make sure they're part of the match and they fully enjoy the ride, make sure they understand everything is clear, and everything makes sense too. Because yes, they know how wrestling works, but if they, if they're not sure, if it's like magic, it's a trick, but you're like still amazed because how the fuck are they doing this? And you want to believe as a fan, like, you want to watch a show, you want to believe, you want to get into it. Yeah. You want to cheer for the babyface, you want to boo the heel. Not every opponent deserves your respect. Not every one of them. They're opponents. Whether you're face or heel, it's an opponent. This person's in your way to achieving whatever you want. And I mean, basic. They're in the way of a victory, which you want to have on your fucking report card. So just, little things, register, sell. It's not because you're a deathmatch guy that you're super fucking strong and nothing hurts. No, if it hurts and you fight back, it gives even a bigger reason for people to cheer for you. Give them a reason to love or hate you. And that's more for the promotions. If you're having tournaments and there's a specialty for the match, it's a Doors of Death. Don't have doors in another match. If there's a panes of glass, don't have them in another match besides the main event where every fucking thing should be there. That's for sure. But besides that, if everything's the same, they're not special. And don't kick out at every fucking single fucking match. Make sure, try to see what others are doing too, so you don't repeat the same spots. And if you want to be a great deathmatch wrestler, wrestle with weapons. Do not just break shit. Wrestle. Do your
otherwise
into shit. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like a 1999 2000 WWF hardcore match.
Yeah.
Or you were just having weapons for the sake of weapons.
Exactly. But all the big moves we talked about, whether it's the Candido Bomb or springboard leg drop or whatever, it's a move onto things or through things, or it was a tope with a skateboard. It's a wrestling move with something. It's so much better.
When Danger tried his Canadian Destroyer, is there a place for a Canadian Destroyer in deathmatch wrestling? I don't think there is. I don't think there really is.
I mean, I don't know. It's been so overused. But here's one thing, to go back to that move. One thing you should ask yourself, is this move bigger than what I'm doing for the last move? If your answer is yes, switch. The last move should be the biggest fucking pop, the biggest impressive things, because otherwise you bring them up and then they come down a little bit and then yay, instead of oh fuck yeah, and then the fucking crowd erupts. You want to take them on a roller coaster with the last drop being the fucking biggest one. That's how you're gonna get them, So
exactly.
It was the first death match tournament I looked like I've watched in a long time. It was an okay one. I wouldn't say it's one of the best one. I heard that Carnival was maybe a little bit more better than that. I'll have to watch it, but I don't know if it's the one I would suggest for an introduction to death matches. I would probably, if you're not used to that, I would probably try with single matches instead of a full tournament. I mean, to get into tournaments, I think you have to be a deathmatch fan at first, because it might be a little bit much.
And if you're watching live, always be prepared for the intermission. We're always going to have an intermission.
There's intermission. You got to clean stuff. You got to sweep the mat. You got to bring the new gimmicks. You got to, remove some of the blood and all the shits that there. But, it's GCW have many shows coming. Check them out. Game Changer Wrestling.
I'm going to plug a few.
X.
I'm going to plug two of them, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, so we got that New Year's Eve show that we'll probably be covering. So far, they got about 10 or 12 names signed, but only 2 matches. Like we discussed earlier, Shotzi Blackheart, Priscilla Kelly, 6 feet under death match. And then you got Joey Janela and KJ Orso again. So I wonder if Gail Kim's going to come back for that. And other names signed but not booked in a match yet are Atticus Cogar, Matt Tremont, Zachary Wentz, Dr. Redacted, one called Manders, who's back from his latest Japan tour. I think he was in Japan for a while. Cyclope, Effie, and then you got the Do or Die Rumble, whatever that is.
I can't answer, but I'll look it up.
Somebody's gonna do or die. And then
maybe there's nothing outside. You just go over the top rope and it's the end. I don't know.
And then they got another show January 3rd, but we don't know anything about it yet. Besides
Chicago, right?
Yeah, they've sold the Berwyn Eagles.
The famous Berwyn Eagles, where it was AAW was there, Shimmer was doing shows, ICW No Holds Barred did shows there, and many others. What's great about the Berwyn Eagles? There's a bar behind, there's machines, and I won a ton of money during Shimmer shows. Gambling. Oh God. Nice. Good spot.
So then after that, you got coming up, you got a Saturday and I think you got a Saturday and a Sunday show, but I'm just going to go over the Saturday show. They're going to be in Dallas at Gillies, which is a nightclub, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The only match signed so far there's 2 matches signed so far. Gringo Loco and Samurai del Sol, and Effie versus KJ Orso. And names that are going to be on there are Atticus Cogar, Matt Tremont, Priscilla Kelly, Shotzi Blackheart, Benjador. I don't know if I'm saying that his name is Benjador. I can't recall if he's like a luchador. And Cruel. And then also Deathmatch UK wrestler Emerson Jane. Are you familiar with that woman?
No. I'll look her.
She just came to GCW this year, but I guess her main work is in UK. She does death matches over there.
Okay. Well, another deathmatch girl. That's cool.
Yeah. So that is what's coming up on the world on GCW, as Emil Jay or Veda Scott would say.
If you want to keep up with GCW, just check out their great. They have lots of stuff online on either their Facebook page or on X. They post everything about their upcoming shows. They got big names always on their cards, like we said, Shotzi Blackheart, Priscilla Kelly, Matt Cardona, and so on, and more. And,
yeah, I saw a Matt Cardona match that was signed in February.
That's cool then.
It's going to be him and Billy Starks. I don't know about that one. Billy, I like Billy, but I don't know where her head is at. Like, I don't know if she wants to get any better. She seems like she's kind of treading water. I don't know.
I don't know because I don't watch Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I don't watch AEW, period. Unless someone tells me, "Oh, go see that shit." It's like it's terrible. Okay, then I go see. But anyway, so that was our cover of GCW Game Changer Wrestling, the Nick Gage Invitational 10, and we're covering GCW. But if anybody out there think about other shows you would like us to watch and cover and shit, like we're open to any suggestions. Like you said, we are the Wrestling Soup and Friendos, friends of the Wrestling Soup. By the way, subscribe to their Patreon, follow them on X, follow them, give them some love on YouTube. Also subscribe, give them some likes. We love Mish and Joe. They're giving us the platform to talk all kinds of wrestling shit. That was GCW. We're talking about covering GCW more and other indies. So let us know. And Mr. RamsFan and I, LuFisto, either the wrestling sprout or the wrestling onion soup, we will gladly cover and have fun. And like you probably noticed, it's a little bit of watching as a fan or watching as a teacher, and cover a few things here and there that if you're a wrestler that could help you. And hey, we're just starting, so I
got to get in a few more plugs before we wrap up. So thank you to Jeff Lippman and White Chocolate, who also host other shows. Like they cover Evolve, and they cover I think Garden of Thought is one of Jeff.
Yes, Garden of Thought. Yes. Yeah,
and you got the DRWC show with Dom Reynolds and White Chocolate every Wednesday on YouTube and Wrestling Soup Discord server. You got Drew Yari out there. You got shows like Spitball Media with John Draper, who's friends with Wrestling Soup. He comes on there occasionally. And God, who else do I got to say? Like we said, everybody on the Wrestling Soup branch, the Villagers, that little tag we all call ourselves, the Villagers. Thanks again to Mission Joey, if they even know this is this. And you gotta, I guess you find us on Spreaker. This is how you're gonna find us until we grow bigger. And until we create a hashtag, which is hopefully going to be Wrestling Soup and Friendos, unless it changes. We have no hashtag to search us right now. I know you kind of tried LuFisto, but it's just that Wrestling Soup and the Friends part didn't get.
We're gonna try again, and until next time, this was LuFisto and RamsFan covering GCW Game Changer Wrestling, and next time might be it's not gonna be a deathmatch show, but there's probably going to be death matches. And I will see you with Jeff Lippman eventually as we cover AAA, and more coming from LFG Season 3 with the Wrestling Stew. Boil them, fry them, put them in a stew. We're stew because I'm thicker. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the show, guys. I hope to see you. Well, hope to have you listen to us because you can't really see us soon. And subscribe to the Wrestling Soup and the Wrestling Soup and Friendos.
You have been listening to the debut episode of Wrestling Soupe à l'Oignon with your hosts, legendary wrestler LuFisto and RamsFan, with an inside look into GCW wrestling. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Wrestling Soup and Friendos for more episodes.